And we
Is that me?
we here, we live.
I can hear you. There we go. Yeah.
Okay. Technical difficulties and all of that, but you know how it is. It doesn't matter. What's good, Kojo?
I'm good, man. I was laughing because I was enjoying just seeing our heads on the Harlem Heat many times in the intro. I was enjoying that. But I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm good, my brother. I'm good. A lot to go through, man. Welcome back, guys, to Do You Still Watch Wrestling? And today we're going to be going through the Royal Rumble 2023 review, along with some other actions in the Royal Rumble. And also we'll give you a recap of Raw itself, because it was like a follow-on in regards to what was happening after Royal Rumble. But apart from that, man, I'm good. How have you been, man?
Can't complain. The flu's been kicking my butt twice now.
I told you, man, you got to add that CMOS.
I need CMOS with 5 helpings of Lemsip. I'm sorry, I suffered, man, but I feel a lot better. I'm not 100%, but I'm about 80%. So we're here, we're living.
Yeah.
Can't complain, man. Can't complain.
All good, man. All good. As you can see in the background, I've got the Judgment Day lights up, you know, the purple. I got to represent purple all the way. But yeah, man, let's jump straight into it. Royal Rumble 2023. We was obviously been chatting about this in the background and personally in regards to like what we felt about it. But let me just hand it over to you, man. How did you feel about Royal Rumble? The build up, the whole show itself, did it fit your expectations?
I was very happy with it. I think a lot of people, when it comes to Royal Rumble, a lot of people are just hoping for the big surprises, you know, just crazy surprises. And I felt like with how Triple H sort of does his shows from like NXT days to now, he doesn't really rely on the surprise entrances and, you know, suddenly, I don't know, Chavo Guerrero making a surprise entrance on the Royal Rumble.
Chavo!
I would love to hear that. I would love to hear that. But like, you know, he's so good at building stories so that when you go into a pay-per-view, you go for that, the continuation of the story. And for the Rumble, it only made sense to use people on the roster, maybe 1 or 2 coming back. And yeah, as a whole, I think the show was a major success. I mean, judging by the figures they've been talking about, it was clear, clear of any Rumble they've done, period. So, hey, kudos, man. Kudos.
Do you think there possibly was an anticipation of like the Rock coming, or because let's speak about that, man? So no Rock, the Rock did not turn up at Royal Rumble as much as people would have felt that this was the opportunity to get that build up for WrestleMania with Roman Reigns, and the Rock has not made an appearance. Albeit being that Royal Rumble was in Texas, and I think he had like something that he was filming in Texas as well. So they were in the same state, but no appearance.
Didn't miss him. Didn't miss him. The stories are fine, man, and I know which story in particular people are looking for, but you've got the opportunity, which we'll get into, to build 2 great arcs around this one character for 2 other people. You know what I mean? Like, The Rock doesn't need it. You build The Rock versus Roman when it's non-title. The Rock coming back to face Roman Reigns for the title gives you the ending of the story already. Because Triple H is not going to have The Rock come in, be a champion for a day, go to Raw and say, I've done my bit and relinquish the titles. That's not happening. Hey, I'm good, man. I'm good. I mean, The Rock is great. He's great. And he's super entertaining, and he always will be. He's probably the biggest legend in the business. Always a debate for sure. But regardless, man, didn't need him. And it's okay. It's okay.
It's okay. But no, I second that as well. I was about to say as well, for me, I think the longer it's been dragged on, this whole trying to get them to, get it on at WrestleMania. I think we've had this conversation before as well. Just how can it make sense within Bloodline storyline? And like you said, I think if that was to happen, there has to be. It would kind of spell the ending of Roman Reigns as the head honcho, the head of the table, as it may, because you can't just see The Rock coming in and then losing. Unless there's another build up for Roman Reigns, who's extremely hot right now, and there's no need for them to use The Rock in order for him to get any hotter. But yeah, we can park that up for now. So we've started, and this caught me by surprise. The men's Royal Rumble. For those that don't know, obviously you got the men's Royal Rumble, and you also got the women's Royal Rumble that's been going on for the last few years or so. But this time the men's Royal Rumble started first. I'm there faffing about trying to get it on the TV, and then I'm just seeing Gunther coming out as number one. the Intercontinental Champion starting off at number one. So the men's Royal Rumble started off and kicked off the show. How did you feel about that?
I don't mind. Again, the orders of the show don't bother me as long as it starts to make sense towards the end of the show. So, I mean, I know we'll get into the Rumble match itself, but I don't think it's wrong to start with the men's Royal Rumble. Sometimes you got to start big. I'll go back to, I think what Mania was it, where it was Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins.
Yeah,
and
they started
and you just heard Brock Lesnar's music, and you're like, "Oh wait, hold on, oh okay." Bro, that gasses me. I'm like, "Okay, this is big." So I'm like, I'm happy to hear that. That's good, man. Let's run that. Let's start with the men's Royal Rumble. Hey, do it again. I'm happy with that. That's not a problem. What were you saying?
Do you know what? I'm not gonna lie. Like back in the day, staying up for these pay-per-views and main events was easy. It's getting harder nowadays. So as soon as I saw the men's Royal Rumble, I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, get that out of the way. I don't. And to be fair, it grabbed my attention straight away. And I think nowadays that's what you got to do, man. Grab the audience attention straight away. Don't be afraid to start big, because you know to yourself, if the show is stacked, if the talent is quality throughout, you should be okay in it. And how you obviously you spread out the talents and the matches. Obviously the middle parts of these shows sometimes lacks a little bit, but you know that either the co-main event or the main event in itself will do its job. But yeah, man, I was happy with the Royal Rumble and how it started, and I felt it had a bit of the old school vibe a little bit with the amount of participants in the Rumble. For many years, that's one thing I've criticized Royal Rumble, when you've got like one man in the ring and he constantly waiting for the 90 seconds to be up for the next person to come, and it's more or less a kind of one-on-one for about 10 wrestlers, and then they try and fill up the ring a bit. So I like the fact that it was quite consistent with the amount of wrestlers in the ring.
Yeah. I think that's part of Triple H's idea of trying to keep the fans entertained, because I mean they've done it kind of okay in the past. I mean, you had stuff like, I don't know, CM Punk when he was in the ring throwing out people and grabbing the mic and talking, for example, or like you'd have a group like the Nexus against CM Punk. I think it was 2011 when they kept him, Michael McGillicuddy, David Otunga, Mason Ryan. That's another one. Oh my
goodness!
Yeah, these guys kept on chucking people out, and then he was just dominating, and they kept on beating people up until John Cena's music hit. And when John Cena comes out, he's not gonna get thrown out straight away. And he threw about 4 of them out. It was just him and Punk, and then they had an actual Rumble, and that's what it is. It's a Rumble. There's supposed to be bodies everywhere. You advertise that. So I agree. You can't just have one-on-ones till you get to number 20. And then suddenly the big boy comes, and then that's when there's an actual Rumble and it's a final.
I want to see man hanging over the top rope, struggling. I want to see man cowering in the corner. I want to see like everybody just rumbling. and then obviously you get the pockets of the storylines and so forth. At what point would you say the Rumble kind of kicked off for you? Obviously, we got Gunther's coming at number 1. Who came in at number 2 again? It was Gunther and who?
Sheamus.
That's it. So Gunther and Sheamus kick off the Royal Rumble. They kind of show their prowess in terms of like, they're like heavy, like the heavyweights that could go for the Universal titles and stuff like that. But they're at the IC level at the moment. But they kicked off the show well. And then how do you see the tone of the Rumble like going from then on?
I think it was well set because I mean, even before those two came out, you had Pat McAfee make a surprise appearance out of nowhere, which was a great mood setup because you're like, okay, how are we kicking off? And it's a surprise, and they didn't even tell the commentators, so that was a beautiful thing for them. And then you hear
my guy was hating. What's his name again?
Corey.
I love the way he did that, man. Obviously, you can see that it's fake, but it's like, what is he doing here? Huh? But yeah, that definitely set up the tone.
But yeah, the good thing about starting with Gunther and Sheamus is after they had that crazy match at Clash at the Castle, anytime those two are in the ring, you just anticipate war. And those two can personify a Rumble by them two themselves. Obviously, we're talking about having a lot of people in the ring, but those two are hard hitters. So
easily lighting each other's chests.
Bro, you know what I'm saying? So they're gonna go to war. They're coming to war, and not one of them's getting thrown out within the first 2 minutes.
Sorry to cut you. Have you ever thought of, when they do these knife edge slaps to the chest? Yeah. Have you ever thought how they like go back to the back room area and they're still able to talk to each other?
I mean,
like, bro, if you slap me in the chest like that, I don't know if I can chat to you.
I think it can work for someone like Gunther and Sheamus because they kind of remind me of the old school guys that would say, hit me harder. So like even with the women, like maybe Rhea Ripley could fall into this class, but like, how you'd read stories from like Bubba Ray Dudley, who said when he put Mae Young through the table, she was like, what the hell was that? Exactly. She said that exactly, and she said that wasn't good enough. You got to do it better next time. Like these guys, I think they belong in that class where they say, yeah, hit hard. You can't do that to someone like who can I think of that would cry?
The Miz.
I don't think he would.
You reckon the Miz would be down for it? Yeah.
I think he'd firm it, but at the same time, because he's he's not goofy. He's a bit of a weird guy. I don't know. He's a bit odd. Like he will take it, but at the same time, he wouldn't give it back as much because he's super safe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of who wouldn't be on it. I can't think of someone off the top of my head for now. But regardless, yeah, man. That's a great way to start it. And you got even the Miz as a character, he's sly anyway. So he's not getting chucked out straight away. He's not gonna run in and start going to war with you. He's gonna go and just be like, hold on. Yeah, I can't fight you guys. So let me just walk around the green.
Yeah. I like them guys. Them guys. I can't lie. So Gunther and Sheamus kick off the Royal Rumble, and then the ring starts packing up and stuff like that. So like I said, at what point of time did you think to yourself, all right, cool, man, it's getting real interesting for me?
When Brock Lesnar's music hit. Because listen, I thought I wasn't in the crowd, so I could hear their reaction, but I was at home and I almost woke up my daughter. Like you said it, when you hear that,
yeah,
I can't help but get gassed. It's impossible not to get gassed because when he comes, it's ultimate destruction. And I don't care how long he's gonna be in the ring for. It can be 30 minutes or 1 minute. I don't care. 1 minute is enough for Brock Lesnar to cause absolute havoc and then sell for someone, and he will sell. Brock Lesnar sells well.
Yeah, it sells well. Hey, there's a few of them that received some hard suplex cities, man. Who is it? Drew McIntyre. I like when he came in as well. Drew McIntyre, all of them, Sheamus, the back of the head. I'm thinking, right, man, like you're not releasing this quick enough, Brock. You're not releasing it quick enough. I liked, you know what I liked during the Rumble? I liked the alliance between McIntyre and Sheamus. They gave that old school alliance, which is sometimes for the past few years has kind of been frowned upon or not really done properly, or there's been a betrayal. But they stuck right through, like with their, trying to partner up. I like that. I like that what they did with that. Was there any other? Obviously, there weren't no surprises. But Booker T made an appearance. what was your thoughts of Booker T?
Hey, that's uncle. So hey, whatever he does, I'll be at peace with it. As soon as I heard his music, I just want to see a spin of Rooney. Because why not? Because why not? To be honest, why not? But I kind of wished, knowing that Wade Barrett wasn't going to be part of the commentary team, I was kind of hoping that he'd be part of it, just because he's someone that's retired so young, and I know it's because of injuries and stuff, which is absolutely fine, but it'll be just interesting to just see Bad News Barrett just come to the ring, and we're talking about doing the mic thing. He'll play musical play. He's walking down, does his thing, boom, whatever that song does, and then he holds the mic and he tells everyone he's got some bad news, and the fans buy into it because it's a wavy thing. And then from there, you've got something we can build. When he comes to the ring, maybe gives 2 or 3 people a ball hammer, and then you have someone like Gunther just throw him out, heel move kind of thing. I would have enjoyed that, but hey, Booker T, that's big uncle, man. That's big uncle. He can do what the hell he wants.
Was there anybody that you was, because obviously, like you said, normally there is like a gimmick or returning wrestler. Was there anyone that you felt that should have made a comeback or an appearance?
Ooh,
or who would you have wanted to see? I think that's the better way to put it. Who would you have wanted to see?
I can't lie. I mean, I don't know what his situation is in terms of how far he's gone into his rehab, but Riddle would have been an interesting one.
Okay.
Riddle, obviously, Randy Orton would be great, but again, he's injured, and as long as he gets healthy, that's not a thing.
Bro, the day he makes his comeback, it's gonna go off.
Can't wait.
It's gonna go off.
I'll tell you what. Austin 3 wasn't part. Was Austin 3 part of the Rumble?
Yeah.
Cena.
You wanted to hear Cena, yeah? I'm surprised, to be fair.
They're trying to build this match. So
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm surprised that there was no Cena. You're right, innit? No Cena.
Yeah. Because I know Cena's a busy guy, but if he comes out, he plays music. This is just me being in my dreamland. He play his music, he runs to the ring, he does what he does, and then him and Austin Theory have a stare down. I don't know, some other guys get involved, and then Cena throws someone out, and then Fury comes from behind and just throws him out. You know what Fury does after.
Short-lived, yeah.
Cocky, arrogant, gonna tell him, I'm the guy, A-Town, down, and all that rubbish. and then run with it. Like, he's just running his mouth for weeks, and then Cena lets him know, listen, Royal Rumble, anything can happen, but me, you in the ring, we're not on the same level. And then it gives Fury another person that he has to overcome, because he's kind of overcome Bobby Lashley. He overcame Seth Rollins. Now, if you beat the legend, like, it's now saying, okay, this guy is a future world champion. Like, yeah, he's facing guys that have been former champions, but sometimes you need that big scalp. That scalp that's just undeniable, where they say, this guy beat Cena, what are you going to do with it? And not like back in the day with Nexus, when Vince McMahon had Wade Barrett beat Cena, be a slave for about 5 months, and then just absolutely demolish him, and then do nothing with him after. Like, actually build him into something. You know what I'm saying? Don't come in to waste people's time with that. Or Tommaso Ciampa would have been another one as well.
Okay. Not really seen too much of him lately, though. Where's he been at?
Apparently he had surgery or something. Him and Bobby Roode as well. That's another one. Speaking on that, I want to ask what your opinion was because it's about people missing, right? So there's noise going around that Rey Mysterio is injured. So rather than wasting that
bro.
Rumble entrance, do you not think they could have put someone in there and then done like a story
This
where
is
you're
what I
picking up?
was say. I was saying this to my boy when I was watching. I was thinking, hold on a second. Effectively, this is 29. This is 29 wrestlers that have entered the ring.
Yeah.
So even if it was a case where they had that storyline where Dominic Mysterio has beat up his dad in the background. By the way, he was struggling to rip Rey Mysterio's mask.
You clocked.
With his puny arms. I don't know if that was purposely done, but it looked like he was really struggling. Anyway, rather than waste Rey Mysterio's thing, that would have been such a perfect opportunity. Even we'll get to obviously who won the Royal Rumble, but even the fact that the person that won the Royal Rumble, maybe there still could have been a surprise, wrestler coming and taking that spot and be like, you ain't won yet. You still got me to beat and kind of build it up a little bit more. But it just went to waste. And like, yeah, we get it. They've got this feud with father and son. But yeah, I think there was a bit of in terms of entertainment, there was something that was missed there. So yeah, I weren't feeling that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. What about Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar still continuing their beef? Obviously, Bobby Lashley hits Brock Lesnar. Was it behind his back or clotheslined him over the ropes? Something like that.
Yeah.
And he got him out. So you reckon Elimination Chamber, the beef will continue, or that's kind of...
Brock Lesnar's going to do something to Bobby Lashley again. It has to happen. And I can't lie, I'm enjoying it. Like you're watching, you don't know which week is going to happen. You're just watching Bobby Lashley in a match. Then suddenly you hear again, and you're like, yeah. Bro, let it happen because I think at Mania, Bobby Lashley will get that payoff. And that's sweet.
Do you know what I like about it? It's erratic behavior. It's like at any moment you can get got. Like, don't just think that. And and I've mentioned this to you, like in terms of just beefs being seasonal or just being like a flash in the pan type of beef. I like seeing these ongoing beef. I like you just beefing, man, for no reason, just because you've just had run-ins in the past. So if I see that you're doing well, if I see you going for the IC title, I don't want to see that. I just want to come and interrupt your match for no reason. And then, and the thing about it, when Brock Lesnar did do that, you can see in Bobby Lashley's face, just like, bro, like, why now? Like, like, just leave me alone. And then obviously he's gone after him in the Royal Rumble, and the same pictures on Brock Lesnar's face is like, bro, I'm gonna get you. I don't know when it's gonna be, but I'm gonna get you back. Brock Lesnar just then, you see what he did to the ref? This is what I'm trying to tell you about the conversations that people have at the back. Like, bro, man, like it was a bit too, a bit too.
Don't kill me. When he flung the top of the table into the ring, and Bobby Lashley turned around and went, brother.
Yeah, he wasn't even sure about that. He's like, yo, what's going on?
What are you doing here? Like, why did you just do that? That was so provoked.
They get lost in their characters, man. They really get lost. He flung the referee. The referee went back, like literally head over heels over the barricade. I swear he landed on his neck. The other referees were just like, yo, you okay? Are you okay? Do you know? And sorry, I want to skip to another mishap. There was 3 things that made me laugh. It was Dominic Mysterio with the mask struggling to rip the mask. It was that referee moment because I felt like he was really hurt. And did you see when Rhea Ripley and the Glamazon, when they were having their beef or whatever, and the people from the back ran to kind of stop them, and one of them pulled, I don't know if he pulled his hamstring. Yeah, I don't know if he pulled his hamstring or whatever, but he came running out and he started limping. I'm like, bro, you gotta warm up first before you come out like that.
Yo,
But that
stretch
was
your
crazy.
muscles, man. Stretch your muscles. You're on live TV, bro. Have some respect for yourself and get ready. Goodness.
That was like Vince McMahon. But speaking of Rhea Ripley, she came down helping out the Judgment Day. Obviously Edge made his Royal Rumble appearance. But then, you know, the Judgment Day guys, they weren't messing about. They got him out, and then obviously the beef spilled out in the aisle. What was your thoughts about that?
No, I liked it. Edge is going to get his revenge, and that's good. But the Judgment Day are being built to be something big, and I like that. And I think he's going to have probably the match against Finn Balor at what's it called?
Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, but I think it should be at Mania.
Yeah, WrestleMania. Okay.
And the reason why I think that's because I know it should be like in sequence. Damian Priest was the guy that he enlisted first into Judgment Day when it was just them two. And then, you know, obviously he's not gonna fight Rhea Ripley because that's who came next. Like, attack him first, get him out of the equation, and then go Finn Balor and just be like, yo, I ran this show first in terms of the group. And then when they added you to the group, suddenly all you guys thought, you know, you're bigger than me and you can do this thing. This is a you problem. So I have to deal with you, and I'm gonna deal with you on the bigger stage. And just leave Dominic to his dad, man. Rey Mysterio just needs to really and truly just bring him home, bend him over his leg, and just slap his butt a couple of times. Because, bruv, a man went to prison for 2 seconds, and then went and got felt tip pen and drew a tear on his face.
And drew the teardrops.
Oh, bruv.
Do you think that his gimmick, his storyline is fit in Judgment Day? Because it's a bit. I like Judgment Day, don't get me wrong, but I feel like at the moment it's almost kind of that New Day kind of vibe where, you know, New Day started off with like the kind of gospel kind of feel, whatever, and then they were transitioning into something else. I don't know what that something else is with Judgment Day, but they came from like, I don't know, was it like a kind of vampiric kind of vibe?
Yeah.
And then I don't know what it is right now. I don't know where they lie in terms of their characters.
I think with Dominic, I think he's learning how to add some comedy value to his character, because he's the sly, cowardly one of the group. Yeah, he's the weasel. Yeah, that's the word. He's the weasel. That's the word. Weasel. He is absolutely he's the weasel of the company, not even the group, of the company. And then you've got Damian Priest and what's her name? Rhea Ripley, who are they're brutalizers.
Yeah, the brutes, yeah.
They will dominate, they ain't scared of anybody. If you hit them, they will look angry and they'll fight you. Like, that's their thing. And then Finn Balor he's like the vet. Yes, he will win and lose some matches, but he has the respect of everybody there. He is the vet, and he's also very dangerous when he wants to be. And everyone knows he's still got that demon. He can unlock that. So you don't want to get onto his bad side. Like, I like the uniqueness of it. And I can't lie to you, I love Edge. I loved the Brood, but that time gone, man. That time's gone, man.
I know. I wanted him to try to revitalize and bring it back, but you know, after the couple times when he made the comeback, and they're just like, the Brood is the Brood, but without Gangrel. Yeah, like, you know, you got to say it how it is. Without Gangrel, he was the real deal. Like, he's the guy, the man's drinking blood, and you actually believe in that he's drinking blood, even though it could have been like some thick Ribena, but yeah. But yeah, so obviously that the Judgment Day, they made their appearance in the Royal Rumble. Let's fast forward towards the final four. Who was the final four that was left? That was
Cody, Gunter.
Let's talk about Cody. Cody's obviously made. He's now, he's number 30. Music, rings off a little bit of a pop. Now, for me personally, I felt like once again WWE made a bit of a faux pas with announcing that Cody Rhodes was going to come and having the vignettes. Reason being, and hear me out on this one, I just felt like, although we knew that he could possibly come back to a Royal Rumble, allow us to get that pop and feel, oh, okay, he's here. And then, like, my thing is like, if he makes his comeback at Royal Rumble, the likelihood is that he would win. But just allow us to still not know for sure. I think once they just told us he's gonna make his comeback at Royal Rumble, straight away I knew like he's gonna win it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying. How did you feel about his return?
Okay, I'm gonna sound like a very old man for this one, but here we go. The reason why I don't have a beef anymore, I used to, but I don't anymore with WWE releasing the news of them having this guy coming back or whatever, is because you got these, and it's their jobs, I get it, but you got these journalists,
the know guys.
Yeah, the Fightfuls and the Sean Ross is from Fightful, and all these guys, Dave Meltzer, and they do a great job on their side. It's not a criticism of them, but if you're coming out and tweeting Cody Rhodes will be back and he will be on the show, and Cody Rhodes was pictured backstage with blah blah blah,
yeah,
I'm like, you've already killed it. So fans in the stadium, yeah, they'll be reading it and they'll know it, and then they'll try and build some excitement and be like, oh my god, I hope it's Cody, and then Cody, and they'll pop no matter what because they're happy to see him. It's a big return. They'll get to do the whoa and all that rubbish, but like, I just have an issue with them, like just like ruining news. You know what I'm saying? And it's a new era. It's all like I listened to a podcast, Stephen Bartlett. He used to be on Dragon's Den, and he had Gary Neville on a couple of months ago. And Gary Neville obviously said that, look, with social media now, it's not like back in the you watching the news and then suddenly they tell you a transfer's happened. You're like, oh my god, that's how it's coming out of nowhere. With social media, at least when you hear the inklings of the transfer potentially happening, it gets into conversations. It actually makes it a little more interesting, right? And with wrestling, it's the same thing. You know, you hear potentially Jay White could potentially be joining WWE, and people are like, oh my god, who would he face and what's going to happen? And like,
it drums up the conversations.
Yeah, and I get that, and I like that. But if they're going to allow us to have that surprise, then WWE are not, in my opinion, should not be letting us know that he's coming back. But they've done it. They've done it with AJ Styles. They've done it with Batista when he came back. They did it with John Cena before it was announced on the show. They were announcing that John Cena did a backstage thing with Austin Theory. So now I'm watching SmackDown thinking at some point John Cena's face is just going to pop up and Austin Theory's going to talk to him, and then suddenly it's a match for WrestleMania. You're killing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're telling us these things in advance. So when they were saying Cody Rhodes is really training and he's going to be back for the Rumble, I'm like, thanks, guys. Thanks.
Yeah. For me, I think that was the only thing I feel like, come on, man. Like, at least allow us that moment of just like, okay, will he not make his return, regardless of maybe even rumors or whatnot? But then when he does come, it's just like you're so invested in the Rumble itself. You're not really playing it in your mind that, all right, cool, he's gonna win. Although you know the inkling would be like, all right, if he makes his return, he will win. But it's a small thing. But yeah, for me, it was just that. So Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, Gunther, and who else?
Is it Logan Paul?
Yes, with Ricochet. So they were pretty much the last 5. Logan Paul, obviously, the internet sensation, YouTuber extraordinaire. I don't want to plug his drink, but the guy with the drink. Yeah, he makes another in-ring appearance, and look, man, I like him. I like what he brings to wrestling. It's no joke. He's athletic. I would say that he just needs to learn how to sell a little bit more. But other than that, yeah, man, he's got in-ring ability. And then obviously Ricochet being Ricochet, he's just I don't know, man. He's just a human computer game himself. Yeah. They're both on the top ropes, looking at each other eye to eye, and then they leap. Man, take it away, man.
Collision. Just utter destruction. I loved it, man. It was nice to have a crazy spot. I think they need to do that as well, because I think I don't know if Kofi Kingston was trying to do another spot, but I think he failed. The one with the chair in it. Yeah. Big crash and burn, man. Big crash and burn.
And I hope with that is the last we see of the, what he does. It is played. I don't know what else you want from that. He tried to jump from the ring to the chair, crash and burn. And then if you hear the commentators, they were literally trying to figure out whether or not they're going to continue with him being in a rumble because his leg was still on top. Hey, has both feet touched the ground? I don't know. And the camera's still on him. He's all bust up on the chair, his legs hanging up, and they're still trying to play whether or not he's whether or not he's out of the rumble. But effectively, they probably made a decision in the back, be like, nah, man, hey, nah, enough.
I mean, hey, the only thing left for him to do is fly, like literally, actually fly. If he does that, hey, man, hey, I'm good. That's what if he can do now. God.
That sounds like something our parents would say. The only thing that is left is for him to fly. Kofi Kingston. Shout out my Ghanaian brother there, man. He's doing his thing. But yeah, listen, man. I don't know. This is gonna be very unpopular, but for me, Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, the whole New Day thing. I'm tired, man. I'm tired of them. Yeah, I'm tired of them. They're just in a place right now where it's long overdue for them. Like they should just beef or turn on each other, something different, man. Their gimmick and their face role in WWE right now it's annoying, and them slapping each other's cheeks and all that kind of stuff in the Rumble there was no need. Hey, whatever floats your boat in it at the end of the day, but I just felt like there was no need for it in the Rumble. It didn't make no sense. I know, I don't know what they were doing there. Yeah, it was just crazy. Anyway, going back to Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, Logan Paul, and Gunther. It's going down now. They get down to, I think Logan Paul was out, right? He went out, or was he? Who went out?
He threw out Seth Rollins.
Yes. That was like that. I was like, yeah, okay. Are you trying to show us that maybe Logan Paul was gonna get to the? But obviously Logan Paul was out after that. Then it was Gunther versus Cody Rhodes. What was your thoughts on that?
I was happy with everything. I mean, I didn't expect Seth Rollins' potential WrestleMania match to be Logan Paul, but I like how it could build because, like you said, Logan Paul has shown that he kind of gets the business. But he's always been a showman. That's him and his brother. They're showmen. Whatever we think of their characters, the one thing they are showmen. That's a guarantee. So you don't get nervous in front of big crowds. They'll go out there and talk.
Natural heel,
very simple, very easy. And then you got Seth Rollins, and I know we'll talk briefly about Raw, but I want to mention this Raw part because he won his match to qualify for the Elimination Chamber, and then he had the interview, and they mentioned to him about being thrown out by Logan Paul, and he went from his laughing to he went to like that whole
stole my moment.
Hey, I'm not gonna say anything right now, but if I see him, I'll deal with him. And he like you can tell it pissed him off. I think the way they do his character, which I like, is Seth Rollins is in the title picture, but he really wants Roman Reigns. He's doing what he can on Raw because he knows he can't get near the Universal title right now. But he really wants Roman Reigns because Roman Reigns still hasn't technically actually beat him. So, like, that's my spot. I'm the one that can go to Mania and beat him. But Logan Paul's throwing him out and he's fuming. Now, the Gunther and Cody thing, what I liked about it is they let these guys go toe-to-toe. And I'm going to say this right now. I'm so proud of Gunther. And the reason I'm so proud of him is because obviously there was a lot of noise around him after the whole name change from Walter to Gunther and everything, and obviously on the Vince. Apparently, rumors are Vince wasn't convinced by him and all that rubbish. Triple H knows the guy, knows his talents. He did more than just last an hour and whatever it was in the Rumble. Like he was
very long
good.
time.
He was good. He wasn't just there. He was good. He was dominant. He fought. Like I was loving the performance. You know what I'm saying? So Cody coming in, the fact that he even lasted that with Cody, knowing that Cody was number 30, he was number 1. I know obviously it's to sell that him to be a big game player, sell your Intercontinental Champion to be a big champion and a big opponent. But the performance in itself was just really good. Really, really good. And it makes your job easier when you're like a Cody Rhodes who will still have a little bit of ring rust, knowing that he's just come back and, you know, just needs to sweeten himself up a little bit. You got a great competitor, but what it also does is when Gunther eventually drops the Intercontinental title and goes after the world title, you ain't questioning that.
You don't question it.
I think you remember a couple of episodes ago where I got onto Vince Russo's neck, right? Because all this guy does is bitch and complain and moan about whatever, right? And his thing was they haven't got any credible challengers. Well, how about you give the new regime a chance to build challengers? Because they've literally produced a challenger right there. You know what I'm saying?
I like the bit when Gunther and Brock stood toe to toe, like in the middle of the ring, and it was significant to the fact like it was showing like, you know what, Gunther could be in this mix. He's a force that could be in this mix, and I like that. And obviously they didn't go all the way with it, but it was just kind of show like, oh, I'm standing here, I'm not backing down, I ain't afraid of you. Like I can throw down as well. Yeah, man, I like that. Well, no secret, as we've been saying, Cody Rhodes obviously won the Royal Rumble. He's going to WrestleMania. Whether or not you, I don't know, agree or disagree with that billing, obviously we'll see very soon and how that works out. I want to just kind of go quickly. Let's fast forward and say the Bloodline, Roman Reigns, head of the table. That match in itself, because I just think like how we've seen Cody Rhodes win the Royal Rumble, and then you see the work that Roman Reigns is doing. I'm just kind of not struggling to see how he kind of adds value to a WrestleMania event, but the work that Roman Reigns is doing right now is incredible. I don't know if it's him himself coming up with these storylines or there's his involvement is real heavy with this, but right now Roman Reigns is performing at the GOAT level, man. Like break down this whole fight. Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens with Sami Zayn in the mix as the only member of the Bloodline out there with him. What was your whole thoughts going into this match?
I didn't know what to think going into it because not in a bad way. Like there were so many ways this could have gone because after that whole the trial on Monday Night Raw, obviously Jey Uso saved Sami Zayn and Roman said you're not guilty, but for now, your final test comes Sunday. That gives you so many ways as a creator just to. Because you can have Sami Zayn fully committing to the Bloodline and saying, you know what, Kevin, like we're actually done. There's no more ever, like no more of me and you.
Which I thought that's what was going to happen.
Same.
I thought it was going to go down that route.
Or, obviously what happened with him essentially leaving the Bloodline. But then also kind of opened the avenue as to what happened with the other three. I know. Solo Sikoa is he's a family man. He's a brutalizer. So for him, give him the chance to kick someone's bum, he don't give a shit. He's cool. Simple as that for him. And then you've got Jimmy and Jay. Now, it's intriguing because you got the storyline where, and I've been watching videos of what's happening in the last couple of months, which is now actually opened my eyes to this. It's insane. You got Jay who didn't trust him, and then Sami Zayn finally got his trust by showing him that, look, I got you. I've actually got you here. I'm helping the bloodline do stuff here. And he earned his trust, became his boy, and like a brother. And he got Jimmy. But then there's a clip that keeps coming up now on social media, which kills me, which is like, yo, if you don't notice these small things in wrestling in WWE now, you're gonna miss a lot of where the story is heading to. Jimmy said to Roman Reigns, like, yeah, that's my dog. That's my guy, man. I like him, but I love my family. It's the two words, like, yeah, that's my boy, man. We're good. But you, man, through thick or thin, this is where we are. This is me and you. So going into the match, obviously they have a great match again. They'll both will deliver. You don't need to sell Kevin Owens. I know again, Vince Russo doesn't like him, but hey, Kevin Owens is a former world champion, former NXT champion. He's on his day, he's dangerous.
It's
very
got that
dangerous.
Stone Cold Stunner.
Say the power bombs, even the power bombs into the apron. Bring that back. Run that back. He has all this thing, but Roman Reigns, the lengths that Roman Reigns had to go to because it not only did it shock Sami Zayn, it shocked Paul Heyman as well. When Paul Heyman is rattled and he said, "Oh my God," and just losing his head, he's actually also worried.
Yeah.
And when he threw Kevin's head onto the stairs, I was like, yeah, Kevin's in trouble now. This is done. So I enjoyed the match. Obviously, I know we're going to get into what happened after, but there's layers, man. There's actual just like layers. And you said it, Roman Reigns' work. There's so many little things that he does that if you don't pick up on it, a lot of people are saying stuff like they're getting tired of like the bloodline and Sami Zayn sort of saved the bloodline. I'm like, okay, I get it because Sami Zayn is a different angle to the story. And he's so good at what he does, and I will never take that away from him. He's so great. And he is pretty much the driving force behind the next stage of the bloodline story. But there's things that Roman Reigns has done from when he first came back as the tribal chief and aligned himself with Paul Heyman to this day, that if you don't notice them anymore, which it took me a long time to notice, this is me as well, you won't really understand what's happening. This is Mozart. I'm saying this is Mozart. This is Gareth Bale versus Liverpool in the Champions League final. This is Zidane versus Leverkusen. This is Steph Curry hitting 15 3-pointers in a game. This is Michael Jordan releasing new Jordans. This is Tom Brady winning his 6th Super Bowl.
This is Mike Tyson at his peak. It is art. It is artistry. Yeah.
Enjoy it. You know what I'm saying?
Enjoy
it whilst it lasts. Did you know what this is? This is the human embodiment wrestling version of Jay-Z and Kanye Watch the Throne.
Woo! You are taking it there. Do you know what I like? You made a very good point because a lot of people will be like, oh, Sami Zayn is saved. And what you need to deep is this. Roman Reigns especially when he first started this head of the table stuff, it was all, and his beef with Jey Uso. He came from a brutalizing brute of a leader or whatnot. The comedic aspect and, the softening part that Sami Zayn has brought to the bloodline, you have to be a great to be able to work with that, to show how flexible you can still be within that storyline. This is what people don't get. So when people saying that, Sami Zayn is the one that's saving the bloodline, it's like, no, you need to watch it properly. Is the bloodline, is Roman Reigns being able to adapt between the both, being a brute, being brutal, being able to joke at times, being able to smile, come out of character at times, but then revert back to character. And then, obviously, we've seen the whole situation unfold with Kevin Owens. He's handcuffed to the ring. giving him the chair shots or whatever. Not now, it's gonna be given. The final blow goes to Sami Zayn, and he's asking Sami Zayn, who is this, fun-loving character, to be just as sadistic and brutal as he is. Now make your choice. Bro, do you know how insane that is? You need to show your allegiance right now. Right now. What are you going to do? And at that moment, I was like, yo, this is actually crazy.
Bro.
What is he going to do? Obviously, he's whacked Roman Reigns at the back. Bah! Roman Reigns' face is a picture. Yeah.
No.
You know who else? And I knew you always mention this. It is Paul Heyman's face.
Bro.
It's a picture. Please, man, when you're not watching wrestling, deep what is really going on in the background, in the foregrounds, it paints the whole picture. Sami Zayn's slapped the chair on Roman Reigns. What are you now thinking at this point?
Before that, I want to skip back just a little bit because obviously Kevin Owens is getting beaten up by everybody in that bloodline apart from Sami Zayn. But Roman Reigns is holding him. He's just like, yeah, look, man, look, this is beautiful, right? We're kicking his ass now. He's gonna get it. He's gonna understand to never deal with us like that again. And then Roman Reigns, this is my family. Like, you don't mess with my family. But then Sami Zayn goes, when he stops him, he doesn't just stop him. He's saying, this is beneath you. He's done. Like, you're the tribal chief. You're the champ. No one can touch you. You don't need to even go any further anymore. You've made your point. You're the GOAT. And he's doing it from a place of love. This is not to save him anymore. It's not to save Kevin Owens. It's just to say, yo, you don't even need to waste time on this guy anymore. It's done. It's game over. And then he says, you do it. And somebody is like, I ain't built like you. Like you're saying, I'm not, I can't do it. I can't do it. And then I think he's starting to urge towards it. But then when Roman Reigns shoves his head,
this is my life. This is my family. Mushing him in the face. I was oh my days.
There was one line that Roman said, and I replayed it like 5 times. I thought, I just hear this right. There's one line that he said before he got hit by the chair. And he went up to him after he said, I love you, this is my life. He said, you're going to do this whether you like it or not. And I was like, oh.
It's by force. It's by force.
Now, he's not saying what's your choice. He's saying this is your choice. Hit him now. So when he hit Roman in the back, I was sat there like, oh my God, what's happening now? What's next? Because the Usos didn't react straight away. They were looking at Roman. They were rattled.
Yeah.
They were like, hold on. Huh?
Even Solo was like, yo.
Yeah. What? Put him in mouth open like, huh? Like, and obviously Roman Reigns just looking shocked that he got hit by a chair again. And he turns around and looks at him like, did you just hit me?
But you know the point that got me was like, he's hit him, he's turned around to the Usos and goes, I'm sorry, man. Like, to the point where it's just like, it's not beef with you guys. I ain't got the beef with you guys. You guys are still my dogs. But it's just that I have a problem with the tribal chief. But we all know if you got a problem with the tribal chief, you got a problem with the whole bloodline.
This is it.
And then boots to asses.
Boots to asses. And then you got Jay. You got Jay who was looking conflicted because it didn't hit me again. It didn't hit me at first. They were all beating up Sami Zayn apart from him. But then those two instances again. I've watched that match and that whole thing back again. Yeah. When Jey Uso super kicks him and starts punching him, Roman Reigns is holding his head in his hands. Like, I can't believe this guy's done this because I think he actually fully bought into Sami Zayn being in the bloodline. He actually finally, it wasn't just a case of anymore using him. It was like this guy's one of us now. And he's even before he was telling me, this is beneath me. I'm the tribal chief. I don't need to deal with this no more. And that's actually good because when he got Jey as the right-hand man, and then when Jimmy finally bought into it, Roman Reigns would win the match, but then the other two do the brutalizing. I don't need to do anything anymore. I told them to go and beat him up. I'm good after that. I'm set. And then Sami Zayn is getting shoved in the face, and he's like, okay, fine, I get it. I apologize. You're the tribal chief, I'm gonna do it. Sticks him in the back. But when Roman Reigns was sitting there holding his hands, and Jay was just in the corner, and before that saying, "What you doing, man?" So like,
yeah,
you know how you do something for your boys. Like, I don't know, your boy does something stupid to his girl, and you chat to the girl, but hey, listen, look, man, don't do stuff silly sometimes, and it is what it is, man. Chat to my man. Listen, just chat to my man. You guys sort it out. You sort it out, and then you go mess it up again.
Yeah.
Like,
what are you doing?
Like, what are you doing, man? Like, I'm your bro. But then he's holding back from beefing, and then Jimmy's like, "Yo, wait, I'm your brother. What are you doing here? What's going on?" And then he walks out. Listen, layers.
There's layers to it, but I think it was so perfect of that walkout, because my thing will be now, there's so many angles to take this. Jay can now come back and be on a wave of like, I don't trust no outsiders from now on. Like, nobody. Like this, I started off by hating on this guy. It's because of you, and also coming back to tell the bloodline, like, I told you, man, that this guy is gonna do this, but you, man, it's because of you, man, who've made me weak. And then obviously now it could be a situation where he's now getting peed off and pissed, and how he's now like lost himself through others, where he was all about protecting the bloodline, and someone's now coming to infiltrate. That's how I envision it. I don't know if it will break down like that, but like that way, if he came back more brutal, more hardened, and then, you know, we're gonna break some of these bloodline kind of predictions or whatnot, but the challenging of Roman Reigns can then come out of this, where it's just like, nah, man, you lost under your watch, someone's come in and infiltrated, when I was telling you from the get-go, like, this guy is no good, but because of you, man, convincing me, I lost my way, and it's your fault. But like you said, man, there's so many layers in this bloodline storyline. And this is what I was saying in terms of like where Cody Rhodes fits into this. He's just not heavy enough for me.
I see it slightly differently, because Cody's angle is also very different, but it's also kind of similar to Roman's in the sense of Cody always makes a point in interviews, which I know they will now use on TV, that the WWE title is the one title that's eluded his family. And Roman Reigns has taken this title, and he's taken this responsibility as the head of the family and the company, saying there's no one that's going to take this away from me. Cody, in this instance, has as much to fight for as Roman, because he's trying to bring something back home to his family, not to be the head of the table, but to finally bring a championship and under the name Rhodes. So it wasn't Dusty, it wasn't Dustin, it can't be Brandy because she's not WWE, she's not a male. So it's got to be Cody. Cody's the only one left. He's the youngest, he's the strongest, he's the most, I say, in his prime, I'd say. And, you know, he's the one with the best opportunity and the best story to do it. And where you can do something with the title is you've got undisputed champion, but with that, SmackDown has all the gold, like the big two. Raw doesn't have that. So yes, you've done an incredible job going around the United States title, but you need that championship on the flagship show. It's your flagship show. You need gold on there. So you got 2 nights of Mania. Why not make the head of the table and the tribal chief, who, in my opinion, from now until Mania, is going to lose the plot and lose his family's backing one by one? Because I think Jay's first and then Jimmy next. Solo will do his own thing. Regardless, like I said, he's an ass kicker.
Solo's going to be ride or die, man, because that last word that Roman said, Solo, it's war. It's wartime now.
We take no prisoners now.
No prisoners now.
No prisoners.
And he specifically was like, Solo. So,
but this is what I'm saying. Like, you've got so many options. Me personally, I'm making Roman.
Hold on a second. Are you saying Roman Reigns to fight twice.
Saturday and Sunday, yeah.
So for one belt and another belt.
Yes.
Defend it twice. So defend both belts on the 2 nights. Woo!
Because Cody's dream isn't Cody's dream is to become the WWE Undisputed Universal Champion, because that's where it is right now.
Yeah.
But him being, and this is where I think Triple H is a lot more smarter about it, because I don't think the fans are in the stage anymore of the Daniel Bryan thing where Daniel Bryan must win the championships. I don't think they're in that stage. However, what you've got here is something unique where
Kofi Mania.
Yeah, similar to that. Like you got Cody Rhodes, who again, he can talk himself into any match and the fans will buy into it because he's that good on the mic and he can tell a story. And me and you have always said it, wrestling is about stories, not about what they do, the flippity dudes on the other side, right? It's about telling a story, and he's so good at that. He can grab a microphone and you will listen. And he is someone that listens to the people. That's always been his thing since he left the company. Listen to the people. What do they want? What are they looking for? Because that's what the new company was built upon. You guys need an alternative, and we're giving you what you want. Now, I want the WWE title, but I also know you guys are rooting for this guy. Challenge Roman. You're the head of the table. You're the tribal chief. You can do it all, right? Show your family that you are the guy. Show your family. In fact, that's an opportunity for Roman as well, because at this point, it shouldn't be that he should prove anything. But if the Usos are not backing you anymore, they're going to look at you and say, okay, you keep saying things, we should do things your way. And then when we did things your way, your honorary Us stabbed you in the back. You were, truth be told, if it wasn't for him as well, you would have been pinned several times by Kevin Owens. So if you're that guy and you got two guys that want to take the title off you, fight them both. Go on. Fight them both. First night, I'd say Cody Rhodes on the Saturday. And I say Sami Zayn on the Sunday. Because I think the Sunday pop, just to close WrestleMania with that picture of Sami Zayn holding the championship, perfect.
Yeah, I think you're right with that. You know, I was on YouTube and I was listening to a load of stuff regarding a Royal Rumble, and unanimously most people were just saying the build up for Sami Zayn in this bloodline and him now exiting the bloodline. You don't want to miss out on that. You've built so much stuff. So for him not to be able to go to WrestleMania and be involved somehow with like fighting Roman Reigns is going to be such a missed opportunity. So you could be right, man. I never thought of it like that, but you could be right. That is
another unique thing they can do. So I think if I'm right, then the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view is in Montreal, which is hometown advantage, right? So they have to give Sami Zayn the match. I think that's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah. If it's not WrestleMania, then it's definitely Elimination Chamber that they will go at it.
Exactly. So I'm thinking Sami Zayn loses, but there is something that makes it not a clean loss. I don't know. It could be Solo, it could be the Usos, whatever. Put him in, is what it is. But something where you can say, because I want Sami Zayn to come out of that match and look at Roman and be like, I called you my tribal chief, but
I almost had you.
If it wasn't for this
guy. I almost had you.
No, if it wasn't for this guy, it would be Sami Zayn versus Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. So what are you doing? Are you really the tribal chief? Are you that good? Maybe when you ask me, do I want to be the tribal chief? I should say yes. I should have said yes, because I'm clearly a better leader than you. Because if we deep it, Roman Reigns is the leader of the group, but one by one, Jey Uso got forced in because Roman Reigns just kept on like brutalizing him. Then he got Jey to actually fully just lie down because he attacked and injured Jimmy Uso by choking him out. And then Jimmy Uso bought in because when Roman talks about them being 7-time, I've watched all these kids bringing it back, so great, being 7-time champs. And then they did it because Roman Reigns helped them. I remember because rated RKO, bloody hell.
Riddler.
RK Bro.
RK Bro.
That's the one. Yeah, and they became undisputed champs. he fully bought into that because he's also helped you become champion. Paul Heyman left, came back, but it was probably all part of a plan, whatever. And then Solo Sikoa, like you said, he's family day in, day out, no matter what.
Enforcer.
But you haven't brought these guys in naturally. And when the Usos were banned, that's when you brought Solo in. Out of nowhere, you're like, okay, you come. You always need help from your family, but when your family, or in fact, if you're close to failing, no one can chat to you. You get angry and blame everybody else. But when it's them, God forbid they have a loss, they've embarrassed the family. They're this, that, and the other. Whereas you get to be saved by them and you get to put on the thing around your neck and come and look like Flavor Flav with the clock. Like, bro, like, nah, man. Nah, there's so much you can do with this. Again, I'm not Triple H. He'll do it better than I'm talking about right now. But the point being...
So much. There is so much to go with this. Let's just quickly just touch on... I say quickly, and I mean no disrespect to the Women's Royal Rumble. I just don't think it really had as much flavor in terms of like what we've seen in the build-up for the Roman Reigns, but it was a really good Royal Rumble setup. Just quickly touching on the women's single wrestling championship match, Alexa Bliss versus Bianca Belair. Wasn't anything that I really was hoping for or anything like that. I feel like it was one of them matches in the card that you would just say, okay, filling up time. The dynamics between them, it wasn't great. The setup and obviously the build up as well wasn't great. And man, we're gonna touch on the Bray Wyatt situation, but Alexa Bliss with this Bray Wyatt gimmick back again, which is just irking me. Like, it was all over the place. But anyway, Bianca Belair wins. She gets through it. Did you actually see there was a clip of the sequence of their match was the same as a scary movie, the parody scary movie?
Yeah, on Raw. Yeah.
They completely just copied the moveset. But anyway, I wasn't too happy with that. But moving on to the Royal Rumble, just to get your take on it, what was your thoughts about the Women's Royal Rumble?
I think it was good. There's only 3 major points that stood out for me. That I knew they're gonna try and continue the Becky and Bayley story, which is fine. Happy with that. That's no problem.
Bayley with the cheeks.
Yeah, the good cheeks. Trying to keep my composure. You know what I'm saying? No, three main points. 3 main points for me. Obviously, Rhea winning it. Very happy with that decision. Very happy with that. And I think facing Charlotte, I think she's chosen was the right
she's chosen Charlotte.
I think that's correct because she hasn't beaten Charlotte. That's the one person she's yet to beat. Like in terms of they faced each other at NXT one time, and but for like the big match when they faced each other, when Charlotte won the Royal Rumble and challenged her for the NXT title, she lost that one, isn't it? So she needs that come up and she needs that comeback. And she's a different beast to that Rhea Ripley before. So that's calm. Good with that. Asuka coming back. That comeback was fire. the face mark, the face paint.
Face paint, yeah. I see her without makeup, man. I see her without makeup on Raw. I'm thinking, oh, okay.
And then she started pouring the...
Oh, yeah, that bit got me, man. I was like, yeah.
But that was good as well, and I think she should be the one to face Bianca Belair. That's just my personal opinion at WrestleMania, because I think I need WWE to build Asuka back to the monster that she was when she came from NXT. She needs to go on another unbeaten run, like a long one. She needs to have like an almost Roman Reigns type run, she was like they said on commentary. She used to be the most feared woman in wrestling. Period. We need that woman back because really and truly, with her character, she can beat anybody on any roster.
I'll take that, man, because you know my thoughts on Bianca Belair, man. Please, WWE, let's just rip the Band-Aid off and quickly. I'm tired of the baby face Bianca Belair. I'm tired, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say you mentioned that you want a attitude heel kind of.
Yeah, man.
She's got the charisma for it.
She needs the sassiness needs to come. I need the, the boss bitch kind of, Bianca Belair and be without the title for a bit, man, and feel a bit hard done by, and chip on your shoulder. I need something like that because right now, and as you saw it with Alexa Bliss, that there was just no meat on the bones for a fight like that.
I think it's because they've done that one already, though, innit? They did it on Raw, and the Raw match was actually better than the Royal Rumble match, but it is what it is. The last interesting point for me, there's not much to say about this. Nia Jax came back.
I know.
That one shocked me. I was like, hold on. Firstly, they fucked up with the whole the clock thing, innit? Because
yeah.
They didn't even start from 10. It just heard the music. I remember watching. I was sitting there, and then it didn't even hit me when I heard out of nowhere, "I'm not like most girls." I said, "Hold on, why do I know this song?" And then the song, the camera turns, and I just see her standing. I'm like,
she even looked a bit like, "Wow, I'm actually back. I'm really back." Like, okay, I'm back.
So that one shocked me. But you know what? She came and did her part. Fine, she's the irresistible force, whatever they call her. So she came, fought a few people, but then they all got her out. That's how it should be.
As you do in Royal Rumbles, yeah. You need that.
So no, I had no issue with that. But yeah, that was the main thing. The main thing that was me happy was obviously Rhea Ripley because I think she deserves a Mania win. The next person they need to build up for me next year is Shayna Baszler. That's the next person. And I'm saying this based on my concept is, number one, bring her old music back. Please. Because I don't know what this generic rock style thing is.
I know, man.
Like, the other one had like a UFC Bellator sort of beat to it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And when she came to wrestle, again, we're talking about Asuka being one of the most fit women on the roster. Like, when you were watching NXT back then and you heard Asuka, Rhea Ripley, and Shayna Baszler were coming to the main roster, you were like, oh, shit.
Yeah, these ones are going to throw down. They're going to be brutes.
You know what I'm saying? Because, like, what's the name? Shayna Baszler's thing was literally grabbing your arm and twisting it in ways and stamping on it and breaking it. And at first, I remember because I was a huge NXT stan as before the Black and Gold style brand. Like, people didn't buy into it at first because they didn't really know that type of wrestling approach. But the more you watched it, it just grew her as a monster heel because she wasn't there to come and do grappling. And
no games. You're coming straight forward.
She's there to hurt. She's actually there to hurt you. The key word is hurt. And it works so well for someone like her because she comes from a mixed martial art background. And when you go into the octagon, you don't go in there to grapple each other and see who can get to the floor first and get onto. No, I'm here to absolutely destroy you. That's my job.
On some Ken Shamrock vibe.
Imagine the era, Ken Shamrock was. Imagine the era where you had her and Brock Lesnar as your champions. Like, you're stepping up to two legitimate fighters, not wrestlers, fighters, warriors who will do anything they can in their power, which they all have. Don't need weapons. Brock Lesnar in wrestling matches, in the big ones, will take off his gloves and then go on top of you and ground and pound you. Shout Randy Orton when his head was pouring out of blood. Just give him one quick bow elbow. That's what I want to see from these guys. I don't need to see them doing grappling matches and then they do joint drop kicks and then they stand up and go like this.
Oh, that's that AEW stuff, man.
I don't need to see that. Man. I want to see stuff. Exactly. I want to see Shayna Baszler grab someone's arm, stamping it, and I go, ugh. That's what I want.
I just think with her is she's got all the elements, she's got all of that. It's just the charisma that just doesn't. She's gonna.
I agree with you. But charisma sometimes some people don't need charisma when they're just absolute brutalizers. I don't need her to come and talk 10 minutes on the mic and drop a promo. I don't need that. Yeah. I want her to come out there as I'm literally doing NXT throwback. This is just saying go back to old character. Go out there and say, when you step into the ring with me, I'm gonna hurt you. You don't want to do this. Go and fight, I don't know, Lash Legend or I don't know, Liv
You know what?
Morgan.
You know what it is? The skinny, lightweight, the strawweight like girls, they'll just literally have no chance. And then, like you said, there isn't. Oh, like we've mentioned before, there isn't enough of the tough. Yeah, so you're right. Maybe they just need to build up a few more tough girls out here, man. So now someone like Nia Jax coming back is probably what the women's division needs as well. Because some of them I've said this many a times, some of them are brutes, man. You got Rhea Ripley, you got Bianca, you got Charlotte, you got Nia Jax, but then after that, you just go all the like the itty bitty like Liv Morgans and Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
They need to make a different title for these. You know what they need to do? They need to make an IC version for women because not all of them can handle those the main belts, man. Give them some tiny belts as well so that they can fight after, because there's so many of the itty bitty kind of girls that's not realistically like even watching Alexa Bliss versus Bianca Belair, I'm just like, this doesn't make sense, man. You're not in the same class.
Bianca will eat her alive, man.
100%.
Yeah, like,
100%.
I compare it to, it's like when Lady Gaga and Beyonce teamed up to do Telephone. Listen, there's the body difference is not this is it's just not the same, man.
Beyonce and what's Shakira?
Oh, Beautiful Liar, yeah. Anyways, Shakira by herself.
But when you're with the champ,
is what it is, man.
It is what it is, man.
You don't expect to see not Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather go and fight I don't know, Anthony Joshua.
Yeah, there you go. That's not really.
We know who the better fighter is, yes, but when it comes to size difference, I mean, come on, it's just common sense.
We're not saying that they need to be in the same kind of, because obviously in the men's you got like a Finn Balor that went up against Brock Lesnar. Your Seth Rollins are also in the mix against that, the super heavyweights. But I just feel like in the women's division right now, it's the weight class is just not realistic in how brutal these women are becoming as well. And even speaking of that, Rhea Ripley going from number 1 and finishing the whole Rumble. That's the first time a woman's ever done that in terms of like starting from start to finish. She's now going to WrestleMania and she's chosen Charlotte Flair. And as we said, we both agree in regards to that matchup. And I don't think anything's wrong with that. It's going to be another brutal match. And I feel off the back of that, Rhea Ripley will win the title, which is going to boost her standing in Judgment Day. Remember, I keep saying this. I feel like she is definitely going to take the lead role in that group as the chief mommy of that group, and the way they're playing it with her in the Judgment Day, either she takes over or she literally leaves Finn Balor and Damian Priest and basically just takes Dom along with her and basically just dominates like that. And Dom's the lackey, and she's the boss bitch in regards to that, man. But yeah, man, Royal Rumble was a good watch. I'm obviously conscious about time, but I'm gonna touch on this because I have to. And when I said this to you, you was like, "Man, I didn't know you felt like that." Yeah. But Bray Wyatt, please stop, man, stop this fiend character. The Uncle Howdy, all of this, Alexa Bliss, I've had enough, man. This night fight or after dark fight or whatever it was that it was advertised to be, we ended up watching a throwback of Naomi with her glow sticks and glow colors in the fight. The fight was trash. I didn't get it. And then we got Uncle Howdy just doing a swanton bomb from some dark place at the top somewhere and some goats' heads coming out of the dark. Like, I just don't understand where where he's going with his character. Now, I need you to kind of just maybe talk me around or maybe understand where he's going with this. He's made his return. Apparently, they've given him more creative freedom, because that was the whole issue that he was saying, like, look, he's not getting enough creative freedom. So Triple H goes, look, I don't completely get it, but I trust you in it. So he's come back. Since he's made his return, what is your thoughts been on Bray Wyatt?
I've not been mad at it. I know there was an angle. I guess the angle first was, he's trying to be a new, better person. No more Fiend. Because I think that's what it was. No more Fiend. You have some throwbacks here and there, but he's not going to bring back the Fiend character. He's not going to bring back the original character. That's the Eater of Worlds. That's the one. I think he was doing that first, and then when sorry, I have to do this. LA Knight, said that's my guy. That's my guy, man. When
he's the only one, I believe, because he's not being given like a main staple piece in like WWE or whatever. He's the only one that put his hand up to work with Bray Wyatt. I truly believe that, just to give him the exposure that he needs.
I hear that, but what's unique about these two, before I get into the match, is they're both different but good on the mic. Different, like LA Knight.
Is that gonna hold them though? Is that enough?
It's not enough for most, but the reason why it's enough for me is because obviously, look, when it looked like those two lacked the chemistry, because obviously they haven't worked together before, so the match didn't deliver what we wanted it to, and that's fine. I mean, it's not fine, but it's fine at the same time, because most time when people work together for the first time, I don't expect much. That's no matter the occasion. Sometimes some people just can't do it. It's not like I think when Sami Zayn and when Shinsuke Nakamura first joined WWE, he said that him and Sami Zayn had never worked together. Sami Zayn asked him, "What do you want to do in the match?" And Shinsuke said, "We're not planning. We're just gonna go out there and we're gonna do." And he was like, "Okay." And then they delivered a great match. You know what I'm saying? Because they found a way to quickly get things ticking. Whereas I think with LA Knight and Bray Wyatt, they're not the same talents as those two. So they're gonna have to deliver on another scale. And that's the reason why I don't mind them talking, because LA Knight can talk himself into the spotlight like that. Like, he came into the main roster as Max Dupree. God. Flipping on, what the hell was that about? And then obviously Triple H took over, he got his old character back, and every time he's jumped on the mic, like, he's dropped either a good to fantastic promo, to the point now that people already recognize him and start to do the with him already. Like, it's building. And then with Bray Wyatt, because Bray Wyatt already has, like, what's the word? He has, like, credit in the bank, because as the Eater of Worlds, he dropped great promos. He had crazy matches, but they were working. Then he came as the Fiend out of nowhere. That character was different. The Firefly.
I love that character. Yeah, at that time.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Firefly, Funhouse. And the good thing about the Fiend character was, even though you saw it, fam, even though you saw it more times from matches, especially when he became champion. As became champion, like, sometimes he fought as the Firefly Funhouse Bray Wyatt, and it was interesting to watch that as well. So he has credit in the bank. So with this character, obviously you got the story now where he got released, so he's gone away, and he's still saying, yes, I'm trying to be a different guy, but I'm not going to apologize this time for the horrible things that I do, because back then he'd obviously spill his stuff and go out there and try to brutalize you, but there's also a bit of apology in his speeches, a bit apologetic, where this time it's just like, well, hey,
take me as I am.
Take me as I am. And one promo that comes to my mind is when he attacked what's his name, LA Knight, and the LA Knight went to the ring and said, look, I see it's because you respect me, and they gave him one slap. Bray Wyatt was like, I'll give you that one. It's 1-1 now. We're good. Yeah? And he goes, yeah, we're good. And give him another one. And he said, brother. Don't make me do this, man. Don't make me do this. And the Uncle Howdy thing, if I'm going to be honest, I don't know how to take it yet as well, if I'm being very honest. So I do agree with you on that aspect, because the one thing I didn't expect from that whole match was for him to suddenly just jump out of nowhere into fire or whatever the hell that was. That one confused the hell out of me.
What? Yeah. I really don't know what to say about that.
No clue. But what I will say is this. The only reason why, I think I told you this on WhatsApp, but I'll say it here on live as well. The only reason that I'm willing to give this Bray Alexa thing a go again, the only reason why I'm willing to give it a go again is because I think it started well in the old regime, and then it just lost all way. And then when you hear stories of Bray and Vince clashing over things, you can just smell it, because suddenly, Randy Orton did very well with Alexa Bliss to carry the story. They did okay, but the thing shouldn't have lost at that WrestleMania. And that's what allowed Alexa to continue with that whole evil character thing. And it's not going to work without Bray Wyatt. But I think you're going to see more to do with Alexa and this Uncle Howdy thing rather than Bray Wyatt as his character. Okay. I think that's where I'm intrigued to see what happens, because, of course, Bray and Alexa will work together. And I think under Triple H, because Triple H will hear ideas, and if he's giving them a bit more creative, fine. But Triple H is the kind of guy that will say, why not try this and add it to it? And they will listen. Because when he says that to people in the past and in the present, it's worked. It's worked very well. So they might put it off this time. So I'm giving them a shot. But what I'll say is this: once Roman Reigns drops the titles and everyone is now allowed to get a turn again, I've got 5 wrestlers that should be getting opportunities at either title. Bray Wyatt is one of them.
Okay.
And what I would like to see from this Bray Wyatt is, once he gets the title, I want his ego through the roof. Because I don't think we got that. I think we got when he won it the first time, I got the whole world in my hands kind of thing, but that was already being done before he became champion. And then the Fiend was just a destructive character. I want an egotistical Bray Wyatt, even as a face. If he's supposed to be a good guy, fine. But in this era, you're allowed to have egotistical good guys like Seth Rollins. You all know Seth Rollins is an absolute dick. He's a dick, man. He's an absolute. I love the guy. I think in his natural, normal person in real life, he's a wonderful person. But his character, he's a dick. He's an arrogant. SOB,
gets under your skin type of guy.
Exactly. But you also cheer him on because he's an entertainer, and you get to sing his song. So, so come on, so I think you've got a chance to build something special here.
Quick question, like, because obviously you touched on Uncle Howdy. Do you care about the reveal? Do you care who Uncle Howdy is?
I only care if it's Bo Dallas. Honestly, I only care it's him because they're actually brothers. You should be doing something with them too.
Yeah,
like, it's a family affair. That for me is the most logical thing. I would hate
Uncle
it to be
Howdy.
I would hate it to be who can I think of? Mustafa Ali. That would make no sense to me. What's happening there? Give me something family based where you look and you say, "Oh my God, this is brother," because that's something that people didn't actually. No, they knew, but it wasn't capitalized upon in the past. Yeah. That's the only way I care, to be honest.
I know you're always the guy that will talk me around, and I think you've done somewhat of a. All right, let me reevaluate. So that's your skill set, Kojo. That is your skill set. There is a part of me that wants to reevaluate it, but as I still stand right now, I'm just finding it hard to take what Bray Wyatt is doing right now. But listen, for those that are listening, and you know, you can chime in, you know, like, subscribe, and all that kind of stuff. Put your comments. Let me know, man. Am I wrong in saying what I'm saying, or do you lot agree with me in regards to the Bray Wyatt? As his character washed, or is it washed already, or is there more to come? Like, because obviously, Kojo, you still feeling like there's more to come, but I don't know. I'm a bit come see come sour about it. But Royal Rumble, man, that was Royal Rumble 2023, leading on to the biggest showcase in the world when it comes to wrestling, WrestleMania. But before that is the Elimination Chamber. Already on Raw, we saw a bit of you know, the prequel in regards to what's going to happen in Elimination Chamber. Wasn't the most fantastical of Raws. I think SmackDown is what we're all waiting for because of the Roman Reigns situation. But we saw obviously the elements of the ones. We saw obviously it was pretty much War was like you know, the return of Cody Rhodes and him just kind of asserting his affirmation of wanting to fight Roman Reigns. Rhea Ripley's obviously announced that she wants to fight Charlotte Flair. So that was kind of pretty much it. I don't know, anything else that kind of stood out.
No, I think that's it.
Yeah,
there's a couple of wrestlers that were missing from the Rumble, but I think you'll see them come in bit by bit. Like we mentioned, I know Ciampa and Robbie Roode were injured. I'm sure at some point you will see Shinsuke Nakamura, because Triple H is a big fan of his. So
yeah,
I'm sure you see. I think you just gotta have wrestling fans gotta have patience, and it's gonna be a case where eventually, when the titles are dropped, and I think they do split, you'll see a lot more competition, and it'll be great. United States Championship as well, because I think they've been trying to build people like Chad Gable now, and you know, just other credible wrestlers where you've got different styles. You've got brutalizers, you've got pure technique, you got brawlers. Back to the throwbacks where you had like a dominator like Undertaker, but you had a raw technician like Kurt Angle, or you had a brawler like John Cena, or just like a vicious wrestler like Randy Orton, or sadistic like Triple H. That just differentiation, you know what I'm saying? And you'll see it come out of nowhere, and bit by bit will build. So yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm excited for what happens next.
I agree with you with that. I think, look, me and you, we're big Bloodline fans and stuff like that, and we'd love for it to go on forever. But I think there'll be a point where it just needs to take a bit of a breather, so that it doesn't get overly done, where then you're just like, you're fed up of it. I think it needs to get to the point where you cut it off enough for you to be like, why did you do that? But then you're looking forward to when Roman Reigns takes, you know, like when Triple H was injured for a bit and he came back and he was jacked. I want a Roman Reigns moment like that, because a little bit he's looking a bit out of shape nowadays as well. I think he's not getting that time to hit the gym and stuff like that, because obviously the workload is a lot at the moment. But I think once he takes that break and he goes back, pumps that iron, and then comes back on a sadistic, like, I'm back.
Yeah.
That's going to be another run for Roman Reigns. I can't wait for. But, boy, until then, we just got to wait to see how this pans out. We've got the Elimination Chamber and then WrestleMania. So more to speak on. And like we said, man, what we're looking forward to more than anything right now is SmackDown. Raw was a bit but SmackDown is going to be where we get to see a little bit on what was left at Royal Rumble. The storyline continues with the bloodline. I've told so many people, my boys that watch wrestling, and they'll be like, I'll be like, have you been watching wrestling? Like, I haven't been really watching. I'm like, man, you are missing one of the best groups and storylines in WWE history. So if you're watching it, you know, we're on a weekly basis trying to keep you updated with the storylines and doing our best to break down the wrestling and the storylines as we do here on Do You Still Watch Wrestling. Before we go, Kojo, you mentioned 5 wrestlers that you would put in a running for the titles. One was Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
Who's the 4?
After WrestleMania in the next year, I'm expecting to see the challengers will be Bray Wyatt at some point. Bobby Roode will challenge. I'm trying to go past the obvious ones.
Okay.
Bobby Roode, because he will bring back that full glorious suits, everything that will come back, and you'll see what he's truly about. So him, Shinsuke Nakamura, without a shadow of a doubt, I think will be one. Carmelo Hayes,
okay,
is one, and Austin Theory.
I would love. Do you know who I would like to throw in that mix? Montez Ford, man.
His time's coming. His time is coming. I can feel it as well.
I'm going to harp on about this, but I really believe that it's a step further for the two, Ford and Bianca Belair. They need to hit a heel run right now. It's there for the taking, and I think the longer they're waiting out, I think Ford right now, the tag team situation is played. Dawkins is good, but he's run his course in terms of being in the group like that, and I think sooner or later he's going to have to turn on his teammate and make that decision to go on a solo run. But yeah, I would add him there as a bonus guy within that mix. But yeah, I like that. It's not the obvious ones, and I feel like maybe it's needed that so that you can have more competition. Because if you still just keep going for the obvious ones, then we're just left with the same competitors and same competition.
Exactly.
And then there's not a run of people.
I'll say this though. I'll say it before we go though. I slightly disagree with the premise that there should be some turns on some groups. I think, in my opinion, I agree. Montez Ford is the WWE champion out of the two, but I think you can get what's my man? Angelo Dawkins, a US or Intercontinental Championship run as well, and make him like the sort of like how JBL was WWE champion and Orlando Jordan was United States. You know who the guy is, but then the second time he's not bad. He's not bad. He's just not that level, which is okay. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then with the New Day as well, to be honest with them, I think now with Imperium and them man now taking over the main roster and obviously what they're doing with NXT, they're just there to build new characters.
They're gatekeepers now.
That's fine. But when Big E returns, I'm interested to see what happens. I'm very interested to see what happens there.
Oh,
because he's a former WWE champion, and so is Kofi. So Xavier Woods, obviously, I don't know if he even cares about that. He's doing his own thing outside of wrestling as well. So cool. But like when he comes back as well, that's when New Day are full health. So Big E is a different element. I'm interested. I just want to see what happens there. But yeah, man, I think they're fine. I don't want to see those guys turn on each other. I think,
man. Or maybe Dawkins is the one that goes for the heel thing, and then they have the beef like that. So that will help. Maybe Dawkins not get smushed under and lost by the wayside. Gives him kind of a bit of a some layers in his character, because you don't really see his character all the way there. So there's room for that. But I just feel like, they need to kind of give it a bit of a rest at the moment. But we shall see. Man, listen, I could talk wrestling with you all day long. That was the Royal Rumble 2023 review, along with Roman Reigns, the Bloodline Turmoil, the Women's Royal Rumble as well. We broke that down, and also we spoke about what I kind of vented about Bray Wyatt. Cody Rhodes' return, and obviously a bit of Raw recap. Next time you see us here, we're going to be giving you the SmackDown recap, along with obviously Raw, because obviously SmackDown's on Friday, then Raw is on a Monday. And then also, let's not forget about this. I'm gonna let you seriously lead on this, because I want to hear what you got to say, and that's the AEW stuff, man. We need to just listen. We keep it real here, innit? We're not AEW guys, so we're gonna go in on why we don't like AEW, and whether you like it or not, we don't care. We're gonna give you our opinion about AEW, and it's pretty much coming from a place of we do not like AEW, and that's gonna be basically. Go just sat back yo. I'm ready.
We'll get into it. Don't worry. We'll get into it. Don't worry, man. We'll get into it.
But yeah, man. Until the next time here on Do You Still Watch Wrestling? Myself, Dashiki Dash, and we got Koja here in the building. Until the next time, peace.